Good morning, NewsFortDaily.net, and I'm Kemp Harr. I'm in Itasco, Illinois at the Inglewood Resort at the Diverzify sales meeting, and I'm with Randy Weis, the founder of R.D. Weis and the president of sales and marketing at Diverzify. Randy, how you doing?
Good morning, Kemp. I'm doing great.
It's good to be with you. Thanks for inviting me up here. So this is, I guess, your first sales meeting since you added Spectra back in February, right?
Well, actually, it's our first sales meeting since COVID. We've desperately wanted to get our teams together, but for obvious reasons, that was just not possible. So a lot of pent-up demand in our sales team to get together and network.
This is the first time I've seen you since we were in New York at the Hall of Fame honoring Gene Matson, and it's good to see you. Let's remind our listeners who Diverzify is. You can correct me here, but it's the largest commercial contractor in the U.S., 52 locations, around 300 salespeople, estimated $1 billion in revenue, 50,000 customers, and you're 5 times larger than the closest competitor, right?
That's correct, Kemp. And as you heard us talk yesterday, we're a lot more focused on not just our aggregate size, but how we do in individual markets and making sure the various brands we own perform in a first-class way.
This large contractor model has been tried before, but this one's different because instead of being monolithic in your branding, you're endorsed. All these companies maintain their brands. They all remain local. And so it's never been tried this way before, has it?
It is not, and you probably heard us from the podium talk about that yesterday. You know, we've had the advantage of being able to look back in this industry at attempts to aggregate the business, and when the brands go away and the entire thing is homogenized, you lose something. So we wanted to make sure we did not make that mistake.
Let's start with how's business?
Our business is very good. We're sitting today on record backlogs. You know, we're very diversified in addition to being Diverzify. And I think our diversification is really both geographically and from a product offering standpoint a big asset to us.
I mean, yeah, you've got members who focus on concrete. You've got members who focus on sports flooring. And so you've got a wide range of services that you offer the facility managers, GCs, and A&D folks in the U.S., right?
We certainly do, and you know, one of the things we're most excited about is the ability to take some of these regional initiatives and go more national with them because we have the in-house institutional knowledge that you just referred to in some of these categories.
So what's your outlook for this coming year for business growth?
Well, based on what you shared with us yesterday, I think our data supports that 2022 is going to be a good year. We'll probably have a good first half in 2023. The economy is a wild card right now in lots of areas. It's just no longer inflation and shortages. I think, you know, we're facing some uncertainty, but we're confident we're going to pull through just fine.
Let's talk about the highlights of the meeting. You had a person who knows how to use LinkedIn, which is a super valuable tool for salespeople, and you had somebody from Material Bank. And then one of the things you had that I thought was real interesting was you had a panel of some new employees you've added in the recent couple months, and you could tell by listening to them talk that there's some real talent. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, by somewhat coincidence, we've added some new officers this year. We have a new CFO and a new CIO. We also, for the flooring listeners, we added Danielle Hunsaker as VP of Corporate Strategy, and a lot of people will know Danielle from her Ardex and Dow Tile days, but we're really glad to have her on board to round out our team.
Yeah, I could tell that some real talent. Even, your IT person sounds like he's from Europe, has some real good ideas about how to offer back-end services to help give that support system, but still allow these organizations to maintain their autonomy. Sounds like you've got a sharp group there. You also have a trade show today, right?
We have a trade show today. When we get our teams together, we try and not just force feed them with internal messages and direction, but also give our vendor partners who are critical to our business an opportunity to meet the entire team under one roof, exchange ideas, and us learn about their initiatives and new products.
One thing I've enjoyed listening last night, the Material Bank presentation. I was wondering kind of how that was going to work for a group of commercial contractors, but it sounds like you all have got it set up where you can actually send samples to your A&D person or your GC. You can use that as a tool to quickly give them recommendations for products. So I thought that was an interesting model.
It's been a disruptor in the industry. It's a very forward-thinking approach to sampling. And I think, as Mark Oliver spoke yesterday, they are really just scratching the surface. And make no mistake, Material Bank is a technology company that happens to be associated with flooring.
So we're in Itasco because this is actually around the corner from where Diverzify's headquarters is, right?
That's correct. We're about a mile and a half from our corporate offices. A lot of our teammates who are outside of this area have not visited the corporate office, so we intentionally set this up so in their free time, if they wanted to go see where the magic happens every day, we could get them there.
So I guess I'll see you in 2 weeks at the StarNet meeting, right?
You will. I'm looking forward to seeing the StarNet group again in Colorado Springs. It's been a long time since we've had a live meeting, so I'm sure the kind of excitement and enjoyment our folks had yesterday, I'm going to repeat with StarNet.
This is their 30th anniversary meeting, and they're anticipating the largest crowd ever with over 700 people. That's the first time they've met in 3 years, I think.
That's correct. First live meeting. We did have a live meeting a couple of weeks ago with the maintenance committee of StarNet, but this will be the first shareholder meeting.
I bring this up not only because Diverzify is part of StarNet, but also you were a chairman of the board several years ago, right?
That's correct. I've been on the board for more than a decade, and I did serve more than 4 years as StarNet's chairman.
Randy, I was glad to be able to come to this meeting and see the passion you have for leading the sales organizations. I can tell you feel like this is going to be a successful venture, right?
Oh, very successful. I think we have the right talent in the right places across the company to continue to grow our business and be successful in many markets, in many types of flooring-related areas.
It's good to be with you again. Been talking to Randy Weis, the president of sales and marketing at Diverzify, and you've been listening to Kemp Harr and FloorDaily.net.